pounds.
Well, here's an interesting one coming up, 133. I can tell you that.
Dennis, a freshman, true freshman for Iowa, wrestling against Jesse Sundell, the senior. Former 4-time state champion from Iowa. Jesse Sundell, the senior, going up against a true freshman from Iowa.
We'll see how this true freshman handles this. He's looked good at times, and mostly good at times that I've seen him.
And Sundell not really off to a flying start here this year. He kind of finished fairly strong, was one match away from placing in the national tournament, I believe, last year. But 5-5 record on the season. Whoa, he's going right into Sundell's strength here, which is that neck wrench. And see what happens here. I think there's some respect that was gained there.
Right.
Definitely some respect. A lot of big scrambles here, boy.
Pretty strong little dude there. Pick him right up.
Yeah.
A lot of action.
That's going to
lots of action so far.
That's going to happen every now and then because Sundell's going to let you in there. He's going to try to wrench it. He's looking for big moves.
This kid can lift your feet off. If your feet aren't on the ground and you have those type of moves, you're not going to have the power. And you saw a good job of picking him up again, throwing him down. So Sundell, when he needs to do his moves, he's going to have some weight on his feet. And obviously, Dennis so far has picked him up big time.
Well, I like that lift here. You see how he arches, hits right in.
You would like that, wouldn't you? You would like that. It goes back a few days.
That's in my wheelhouse there.
I think Burley used to hit the ceiling.
Dan Dennis, freshman from Ingleside, Illinois, Grant High School, on top 2-0 on Jesse Sundell, the senior from Ogden, Iowa, Ogden High School. And right now, the freshman doesn't show any freshman jitters at all.
Nice. Let him go.
Yeah,
the only point he got, he was letting go.
Another point for Jesse Sundell, but it's a defensive point. It was let go. Those are the only points the Cyclones have scored in these first 3 matches so far. The offense has been the Hawkeyes.
I think Dennis felt something there. He didn't want coming back into that neck wrench situation, and right now he's got to try to just probably pick a little bit and pick your spots now when you're going to lift. Now he's got to run on the edge. But Sundell is dangerous.
Well, he's been around. He's had some good experience, and he's won a lot of championships. And there was a very good move by Sundell, but he's going to end up in a Turk. Yep. He's got that leg Turk in there. If he can capitalize on it, it's definitely a situation that could put somebody out. Oh, he came out of it.
Let the Turk go. That's an automatic 2 or 3 point move right there. That was. He just didn't feel it. You could see it there, Dan. He just didn't feel that he had to elevate that bottom leg. But again,
Dennis is pretty explosive too. He just is a strong kid, but he doesn't look real tough right here. But he's getting controlled from the top position. But which usually these freshmen do have trouble there.
Yeah, it's tough to be an explosive freshman when you're on your belly.
All of a sudden, it's 3-2. Sundell, the senior, over the freshman, and Sundell looks real tough on top. He's got a lot of leverage going on, and it's 35 seconds left in the first period, and the tide is turned to the bit.
I don't think they're going to put him. He's a strong boy. Look at that.
Well, I tell you what, did a nice job of bailing out of that. I think match strategy-wise, I think Sundell maybe went a little bit better just to stay in the top position. Maybe not force that, but
well, they're going to put him back in the same position, so advantage Sundell there, because it looked like he was coming out.
Right, it could have been a 1 point, but because he had it so tight there, I think it was a good call.
You see the replay there. You saw how Sundell kept his hips up. He wanted to scoot around the corner. Dennis did.
Right there's the position that you talk about.
Right there, lock that right leg.
He let it lay there. He got to elevate it. That's correct. You got to elevate it and point it towards the air, so then it takes the weight off that leg. He wouldn't have any power then, but he had power to scissors it and came back right out.
Well, here's what you work on here, your 20-second escapes.
He's quick. He's quick.
Well, he's got some hops to him.
Good job by Sundell, and he's over the arms, though. He's over the arms. Look at this. Young freshman.
That's what you work
Dennis
on.
is doing the job. He's hustling.
That's big points right there.
Better not hang out down there, though. They call him. Better move back up. They didn't call him.
Yeah,
he did call him.
He did call him.
Whoa.
You know what I like what Sundell did there? Well, let's look at the sequence here. Good explosive move. Catches Sundell coming over his arm. Keeps moving on his feet. You see how he moved his footwork there was just excellent.
Right at
excellent
the knees.
footwork.
Right at the knees. Whoa. Nice finish.
I
Cael
think
Sanderson
Jim
finish.
said something to him. And he
Said something to who?
Mike Allen about the call. And so Mike brought him over just to say, settle down.
Off the call.
A warning call. He warned.
Well, he was down there 6 or 7 seconds, and he was reaching up with one arm, but, you know.
4-3 to start the second period in favor of the Hawkeye. Dan Dennis.
What's that?
Locked hands.
Locked hands, 1 point. Now the illegal hold against the Iowa State Cyclone gives another point to the Hawkeye. Locked hands on top.
He's so explosive. He's doing a great job getting to his feet. That's where he's able to beat Sundell as far as his position here.
But he'll learn that hand fighting in there when your hips are in close is going to be something that's going to be difficult to get against your returning champions and All-Americans. But boy, you got to be impressed with the way he's worked in the down position.
Well, and also a true freshman. He comes in here. I'm just trying to think who in the heck beat him. He's a 2-time state runner-up in Illinois.
Young man went to Nebraska. He's a freshman over there. Actually beat him again this year already in the 20 and under over there, I believe.
Jim, you're right to come in and be in high school last year and step in this kind of environment and to perform like this is special.
Don't stop! Don't stop!
He's in a pretty good position right here. Whoa. He's staying in there too. He's staying right on him. Doing a good job. Look at Matt position right there.
Yeah, he's controlling ties inside. There's Sundell's shot, which
Sundell did score on him on a takedown when he hit a shot on him before.
They're on the edge.
Lots of time though.
6-3 in favor of the Hawkeye. Dan Dennis, the freshman, going up against the senior Cyclone, Jesse Sindel. 50 seconds left in the second period. The Hawkeyes are ahead 7-0 in the meet after 2 matches. This is the 3rd match of the night. We started at heavyweight, then 125. Now we're at 133. Oh, great movement.
Well, you know, it's 2 guys that are kind of wrestling in almost a high school type match here with the amount of effort, and they're not worried about their position. They're both going at it.
Nice duck. He's got good flexibility.
Well, you don't want to come around the back too much, or else you put yourself in a position to score.
Yeah, but when you're strong and you can pick him up off the ground.
Yeah, you eliminate all that.
He gave him 2 points right away. He just popped his hip in and he flew.
Now Sundell's in a position where he's really going to have to force it.
8-3 in favor of Dennis from Iowa going into the 3rd period. 8-3, no riding time involved right there.
I was a little worried here. Well, he got his hips in a good position, but he wasn't moving Sundell. He was just standing there with him and trying to come around, and
didn't have his legs hooked though. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
And when he was going to hook him, he popped him so hard that he flew. And that'll happen.
As quick as Dennis is underneath, he's also quick on top. You know, shifts from one side to the other, right on the whistle.
Well, if you're Jesse Sundell, you keep firing the big stuff here. You know, the big move's going to get you in the match, and I expect him to do that here. He'll come at him.
On that neck wrench, Sundell's not getting his hips underneath him very well. And so that's why he's just kind of using the upper arm body. Upper arm instead of the whole body.
But they're all free shots here. You know, you got to go ahead and on the counter shot, Dennis is able to drop down on an ankle.
And then he covers the hips. Man, great position. For as wild a match as it is, you really haven't seen Dennis out of position that much. He's done a great job with his quickness and position. Another 2 points makes the score 10-4. Riding time is not a factor right now. It's 6 points. What should Dennis do if you're the Hawkeyes?
Well, I wouldn't get tied up in too many neck wrenches, but at the same time, just keep on doing what he's doing. Keep those good knee and ankle leg tackles.
And keep moving your feet. I mean, you just both guys, if you want to get something going here, that you see Dennis almost get 2 or 3 count here. He hasn't moved his feet.
A takedown would not give him a major, but
Sundell, here he goes. He's got the position he wants. He's trying to move him back in, and now he just throws him.
Yeah, you're
here
right.
It is. Let's say he didn't give up.
Yeah, he's too strong for him.
But the elbow's going to slip
strong for him. Yeah.
He's not done trying it.
Yeah, he's not going to get it there. He's got good flex. Not only does he explosive, but he's
turned
flexible.
his hip down.
He's flexible, but at least give Sundell some confidence for the next time. You know, it just knows that it wasn't just one way. But it's a big win for the Hawkeyes here.
It really is. It's very impressive showing because we know Sundell has this, and boy, there's a lot of freshmen that couldn't have avoided.
I'm really, he got thrown hard there. So Sundell, he came off his back pretty good there.
Yeah, they did.
10-7 win for the freshman. Dennis from Iowa over Sundell from Iowa State. 3 more points for the Hawkeyes. Makes the score 10-0 after 3 matches as we head into 141 pounds here in the meet at Hilton Coliseum between Iowa State and Iowa.
Here's that last very nice throw attempt, but look at Sundell. He doesn't give up when the position elevates and almost catches him, but you can see right here he's got his right hip up. Dennis keeps his right hip up, and later on in the sequence he turns that right hip down somehow.
Yep.
He turns that right hip down.
Real flexible in the shoulders there too.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see that arm.
A lot of guys would give that up under the circumstances.
Well, we've seen these two wrestle before on Iowa Public Television. Last year, Iowa State. This was the true freshman, Tsirtsis from Iowa, now a sophomore, versus Nate Gallick, 2-time All-American, runner-up in the NCAAs from Iowa State. And it was a tiebreaker win for Gallic both times they wrestled in the dual meet and then in the Midlands.
Also mentioned about Gallick's career over this summer freestyle career. He was runner-up in the World Trials.
He's in on a deep shot, and he's up in the crotch there. Doing a good job of keeping his leg back. He needs to come inside with his. He needed to go inside instead of outside. Inside could have gave him the distance to pick him up in the air, but he stepped to the outside, and that gave Tsirtsis a chance to escape.
Alex Tsirtsis, sophomore, Griffith, Indiana, Griffith High School. Never lost in high school. He was 236-0, and in fact, last year was the first time since junior high that he had ever been beaten in scholastic and college wrestling when he wrestled Gallic down at Hawkeye Carver Arena, and Gallic won on a tiebreaker.
I don't know if you mentioned Gallic winning the University World Championships this summer and had given some confidence. He beat some fine people over in Turkey.
Well, he was the #1 seed last year in the NCAA wrestling tournament, and he got beat by a very hot Tion Ware,
who he had beaten twice earlier in the year in the dual and in the Big 8 or Big 12s. And he was undefeated. It was his only loss of the whole year, that loss in the finals.
And he has beaten Ware this year. So
the All-Star meet, yeah. You know, he just
got called for stalling there, Tsirtsis.
Yes, but Gallic just does such a great job of I remember sitting there watching him. I'm sitting next to John Smith and Oklahoma State coach, and he says, boy, he really does some nice stuff. He goes, I'm gonna have to take some time to study what he does, and great respect for what Gallic is doing out there. He just controls the center of the mat and controls the tie-up, and and for a guy who's pretty rangy for his weight class.
Well, Tsirtsis, what a quality opponent here, but you have the feeling that Nate Gallic saying, I'm supposed to go out there, I'm going to win this and give my team a lift.
Well, so far it's been, he's been looking at dominant, but the score is still 0-0. That shows you what kind of athlete Tsirtsis is. Another good shot, but another good hip position counter.
He's taken the best that Gallic's had to offer now and kept it a neutral match, and now he's got an inside trip of his own.
Look at that. Both scrambled, hung on for a second. Now they're both in pretty equal positions.
Both hanging on the ankles. Who's going to be able to
come up in the air with it?
Yeah, and also
turn and circle.
Get their head up. Again, they're still battling. Right now, Tsirtsis looks like he has an advantage, but Gallic's trying to make a scramble here.
He does. He has the advantage a little bit.
But it's all depending on whether Gallic can keep that ankle and come up to his feet.
Okay, that's some good wrestling there. That's why he won the University Worlds right there, because he's pretty much nailed to the mat there and was able to come up, and Tsirtsis did a great job of putting himself there, but two good wrestlers.
Nate Gallic, whose younger brother Nick Gallic, who was a 4-time state champion from Arizona, is here at Iowa State, and Nate Gallic from Tucson, Arizona, Sunnyside High School. Nick, a freshman, going to keep the Gallic name in the Cyclone lineup.
Along with another highly recruited Sanderson. So, they had one or two top places in the recruiting class last year.
I wonder how many visits Sanderson took.
Official?
Yeah, official visits.
Of course, we're talking about
Utah State, I think.
Yeah, he probably went there.
Yeah. His brother, yeah.
Talking about the younger brother of Cael Sanderson, the associate head coach and a 4-time NCAA champion, first undefeated 4-time NCAA champion in the history of the sport, and Olympic gold medalist along college wrestling on Iowa Public Television 2006 season. This is the first meet, Iowa State. What a way to start it off. Then Wisconsin at UNI. Saturday, December 10th, Oklahoma State versus Iowa. Saturday, January 7th. ISU versus UNI. Sunday, January 22nd. Illinois versus Iowa. Friday, February 10th. And Missouri versus the Cyclones. Sunday, February 12th. All live here on Iowa Public Television.
Okay, you get set, young man.
Great lineup.
Now when you're ready.
Back at it, 141 pounds. Hawkeyes lead the team score 10-0 after 3 matches. We started at heavyweight, 125, 133, and now we're in the second period. The score is knotted at zeros between Gallic from Iowa State and Tsirtsis from Iowa, and they've been in these kind of matches before. Last year, Gallic winning both by tiebreaker in overtime, and now he's ahead 1-0 with an escape in the second period.
Actually, that shot he made was kind of one where if Tsirtsis wouldn't have went to the front head and tried to hang on, he could have gotten maybe a goal behind there because he was at such an angle. But Tsirtsis dropped down to get that that lock and that feeling of security.
Yeah, you can tell he's so strong on the upper body. He wants to be able to control you and grab your head and get your head underneath his chest. And Gallic so far has just made most of his shots to Tsirtsis' right leg. I'd expect him to maybe see if he's got something to the other side as far as his defense is concerned. Gallic's airtight as far as his technique is concerned, so I think he's got the ability to go to both sides. And that'd be Tsirtsis' back leg here. Boy, again, another motion there that looked like Mark Perry.
Well, they are teammates.
Yeah.
Pretty good lock position there. Referee does a good job, realizing neither wrestler was going to go very far.
47 seconds left in the second period. Gallic out front 1-0 on the strength of an escape.
This guy's looking to referee wants to settle him down a little bit. They're tying up a little bit hard, but you know, that's the nature of the game.
Yeah, just let them probably go out there and club each other for a while.
There's a good shot right there.
Oh, he's tight.
If he has a good finish there, he'll get it. And he got it.
That's a big takedown.
Just great footwork on that. Well, he got to the leg deep, but you see how he finished. He made a little half step back, got Tsirtsis coming into him, and then came across for Bazagar.
Well, what he was able to do was get that corner cut just about 2 inches further than normal to be able to come up with the leg instead of just losing the leg. And that made the big difference. And he didn't hold it very long either. He went right to the finish. And that was a big takedown.
And he rides it to the end of the period to keep the 3-0. No answer for Tsirtsis.
See how he circles out in front a little bit and then comes right across, drives across, turns the hips, and Tsirtsis didn't really have much to work with after that.
3-0 in favor of Gallic. Here's Tsirtsis getting set on the bottom.
You come on down, look straight ahead.
It'll be interesting to see what Gallic's strategies here.
Well, he's got a few options here. Probably going to try to keep him down, and I think the key thing for him is probably not give up a reversal. But he has a lot of options. When you take a guy down and a reversal or something like that, and your opponent doesn't answer at the end of the period with an escape, it gives you a lot of freedom here. A 3-0 lead is just huge in a match like this.
Well, he's doing a good job of controlling him. I think last year he didn't try to control him too much. So, and this is one of the areas that the young freshman last year had for the Hawkeyes there on the bottom position. But this is it's important for Tsirtsis to be able to prove to himself that he's improved in this area. But he's going against the #1 ranked wrestler right now. Well, #2 maybe, I'm not sure. I don't think that all-star meet would knock you up a ranking in all polls. Some polls, yes.
Look how he's working the hips, though. It's nice stuff. And
he's got a minute riding time.
Right, he's piled up the riding time now, so it's an extra point unless Tsirtsis can turn it around and get on top of Gallic and bring it back down. But right now, whoa.
Not sure what's going on here.
That's a stalemate.
Stalemate, huh? It's going to give the Hawk a fresh start there. Yeah.
That's an unusual position to start a new start from, because he was really kind of dominating Tsirtsis in that position and about ready to crank him over a little bit. I don't think he could turn him, but he wanted to inflict a little bit of let him know he's on top.
Red, you got to come down quick. It's yours. It's yours.
Caution, red.
They didn't like that. That's the first time they've been able to yell much, the Cyclones here. So they've been waiting. There's a pretty good crowd here. And this is
Tsirtsis get caught with his elbows out, and Gallic really, once he gets that leg hooked, he really does a nice job of knocking. You see how his he had the left leg hooked, and he comes and slides over the side and knocks you with his knees. Now he's in the crab ride position, and well, he really looks tough in there compared to last year.
You know, Tsirtsis is moving pretty well, though.
And but, so is Gallic.
Yeah, he's just Tsirtsis seems to be creating more opportunities to score than he would have a year ago. But at the same time, Gallic's hustling a little more, taking advantage of maybe learning a little bit about his opponent and making the score a little bit wider than it was before, unless Tsirtsis hits him with a good throw here.
Well, I think Gallic's trying to make a statement here, ride him out. Well, it's not going to happen, but really was dominant in the top position.
He really was, and that's the end of the match. Gallic wins 3-1.
4-1.
4-1 with riding time. He created a bigger margin this third time, and so the Cyclones get on the board with 3 points. Makes the score 10-3 after 4 matches. We're going into the 5th match now at 149 before the break.
And 149 is pretty much favored by Iowa.
We talked
American there.
Talked about that in the open, and this is one of the 2 matches where you had to figure that Iowa's heavily favored here.
Who's wrestling for the Cyclones?
Knipp.
Knipp.
Yep.
So they actually had a pretty good match earlier this year. 10-8 match.
Good luck, my man.
It was a match where I think Knipp got out in front with a big move, and Eustace able to work himself back into the match. Eustace, a real basic wrestler, a lot of experience.
Eustice, a senior from Blue Earth, Minnesota, Blue Earth High School, and of course he son of Jack Eustice, who was a great wrestler from Mankato State.
Right, now Minnesota State.
Now Minnesota State, and his brother Luke Eustice was a national runner-up for the Hawkeyes and is in the room as well still.
Right, he's wrestling for the club there, the Hawkeye Training Club.
Jason Knipp, a junior from Waterloo, Iowa, went to Don Bosco High School.
Program with a rich tradition there in Waterloo area. And he's just one of those, guys that's been in the program for a while. He's had some spot duty every now and then, got in the lineup, and he got a chance to go out there and show his wares tonight against a real tough wrestler. And
good shot again. He's in a pretty good position here to score the first 2 points. They gave it to him already.
He had weight on his hands, and nice job there by Eustace, kind of following up his shot, driving into him, kind of slowly working around and getting the 2.
There's one.
Gave you 1 right there. You're not out of bounds till you're out of bounds there.
Good job, guys.
I think with Eustace, that last match where he's able to come back and score a lot of points, the takedowns, and you're probably going to see him spend most of this match on his feet.
He's probably pretty confident in this match. At the same time, he knows that he needs to wrestle a sound type of match and not make a lot of mistakes.
Also a chance for you as a senior to get out there and show some leadership and really put it on a guy and
send you into the locker room with a good lead.
2-1. 2 minutes into the first period. There is another shot, head to the inside, but Knipp is able to hip out and avoid the takedown. The second takedown there. Eustace still ahead 2-1 on the strength of a takedown early in the first period.
That was a nice job by Knipp there. Did a nice job of squaring up and really kept his hips heavy.
Kept his head underneath there too. He really made him extend well, and it's just the opposite of what happened last time. Eustace was able to come up with that leg and get head control and take all the weight off that leg. This time all the weight got down on that leg and just straightened his arms right out.
You always get a kick out of that, because sometimes just a little tweak like that here, showing your strength and battling after a guy gets in there. Now all of a sudden Eustace has a little respect for him here. You don't see him quite as much on the offense here late in the first period.
See Mike Zadick in the background there for the Hawkeyes. I'm sure that he spends a lot of time with Ty Eustace in the room.
Mike actually's been hurt a little bit lately and has not been able to do as much as he wants. But
what's the injury?
I'm not even sure exactly what it is. He's been wearing a face mask lately, but but I know he's in there scrambling around, so about ready to probably go back full speed.
Eustace, a fast start here, his senior year, 6-0. And
good hand control, good weight on his hips, and
the escape gives him a 3-1 lead early in the second period. If you're just joining us, it's the 5th match of the meet between Iowa State and Iowa. Iowa leads 10-3. I'm Tim Johnson along with Dan Gable and Jim Gibbons. And we're at Hilton Coliseum, the opening college wrestling dual meet of the season, our 30th year on Iowa Public Television.
And right now, Knipp's doing a pretty fair job of, I mean, there's flashes in this match where he does a good, fair job of hand fighting, and he's taking the inside tie. Eustace really doesn't look like he's trying to get a shot off. So, you know, this is a situation, if you're Eustace and you're heavily favored in this situation, you got to go after him. You got to maybe create some things that are not quite there.
I just haven't seen
action.
I haven't seen the offense yet, though. I don't know what he has.
Yeah, they're just one and done.
And then if he goes a couple more in a row, Eustace will probably get a stall call, because that's the way the referee's been kind of being consistent there on one guy that's being aggressive over the other.
There it is. There's the shot. Got plenty of room to score.
Don't stop. Keep going.
Here, switches off to a double. There's the 2.
He got an extra point there, didn't he? 1 point for a stall and then 2 points for a takedown.
Right.
And that actually makes the match look like you could possibly dominate it.
Here's the drop. Comes off the head. Not very fancy. Just a touch. Come off the head and drop in on him.
Escape Knipp there, given to him by Ty Eustace. 30 seconds left in the second period. Eustace ahead 6-2. All-American last year, placing 5th at 149 pounds at NCAA championships, Ty Eustace.
Watch your face. Watch your face.
And Knipp really hasn't taken a shot. He's just been in there hand fighting. There's the sequence I was looking for. You know, boom, boom, boom. Look, you know, one shot after the other. You're the favorite. You got to get out there and get after it.
Into the second period, score 6-2. There's Jim Zalesky. Has to be pleased with the first 5 matches. Winning 3 and commanding lead here in the 4th. The only loss so far. Nate Gallick over Tsirtsis. Alex Tsirtsis. His 3rd straight victory over the very tough Iowa sophomore Tsirtsis, but he can't break through because Gallick is right on top of the field for 141 pounds in the nation right now, trying to become a national champion for the first time. And Ty Eustace trying to do the same at 149, undefeated this year, 6-0, and looking for his 7th win, controlling Jason Knipp for the Cyclones.
I look around the crowd here and I'm impressed with the student section of the Cyclones, but of course obviously they haven't had a whole lot to yell about yet, but they're out here and they're supporting their wrestling team.
Yeah, you see in the background there, you got guys that came in here with no shirts, and
well, they're painted on
shirts.
Second half of this meet's gonna start out with the Paulson twins, I believe, from Iowa State. That'll
get the crowd going.
Yeah. But the Hawkeyes have an NCAA runner up there too, so with Joe Johnston.
And he hasn't cracked that with Paulson yet.
No.
He's 0-4 against him.
It's close, but got one more shot by Eustace, and he's going to end up getting another point here. Crowd's getting antsy. They want Knipp to start pressuring on a little bit more. Not a lot of time left, and he's got to make up a score of 3 or 4 points here.
6-3 in favor of Eustace. 25 seconds left in the third period. Trying to lock it up. Back in on the single leg. And Knipp hipping out there. Pretty good job there, but
pretty good defense.
That's not what the Cyclones need right now.
Didn't really go after it there. He had looked like he had the advantage for a second and just didn't follow it up.
I think he just knew that the win's his, and he's not going to get in any unusual situation.
It's Ty Eustace winning for the 4th time for the Hawkeyes in the first 5 matches. Eustace wins 6-3 at 149, and after 5 matches, the score is Iowa 13 and Iowa State 3, and we'll be back with more college wrestling in just a moment.